Hello, dear friends, my dear folks, lovely ladies and gentlemen, my dear audiences. Welcome to East West Show. Jack Zhao hosting. I say good morning, good lunch, good afternoon, good whatever, depending on where you are. At G&E TV with this show from east to west, sometimes, quite more often than not, we are talking about Hollywood because we are in Hollywood. We are part of Hollywood. As Hollywood, though, most of the time, or I would say 98% of the time, we're talking about those little, more than a handful of guys or girls or whoever holding a little Oscar. They're the ones on the very top, the supreme. Yet, the other side of the story is that there are tens of thousands of people who are doing the climbing, engaging themselves in the uphill fighting. Among those who are doing or engaging themselves in the uphill fighting are lots of young people, especially young people from China. I lately have recognized that there are quite a few with a name and masterpieces pop out that I should say we probably should spare some attention to those. So today, as one of the moment when chances allow, we have a new face on the show. Her name is Ting Yu. Ting, last name E, first for Ting, on this show. And all I could say is a graduate from Chapman University.
Correct.
And a film majoring in film production.
Yep.
Has been doing editing on several major films. Now engaged in some big ones with $100 million for a total funding. I don't know, whatever. I'll let her do the talking. First, I'll say welcome, Ting, to the show.
Thank you so much, Jack.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, you want to start?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I graduated from China, Shanghai Film Academy, like several years ago, and I spent like 4 years in Shanghai doing mainly like TV programs, TV series, and then I realized like I want to do film because if you do like TV shows, it maybe just last one day, and then just things just passed, and like if a good film, people can watch it like 10 times. You know, it can pass like generation by generation.
All right. Okay.
So, and then I think, yeah, maybe I want to go from TV to film. And then I just, want to find a place that I can start, like I can study. And then I think in this world where I want to be, Hollywood. Of course, it's like millions of people like we just want to do that thing. So I went here to study in Chapman University in film production, and then my emphasis is film editing, because a lot of people just ask me why don't you just choose directing, because I spent like
directing or acting, or screenwriting, screenplay writing, something like that.
Because it's like, because directing or what you say acting, because you can be like standing in front of the camera, you can do like you can show what do you have. Okay. But editing will be like you just stand like next to the computer and no one recognized you, like for like things like that.
Yeah,
so, but the interesting thing is like when you sit with the computer and when you look at the footage, when you see all kinds of like different pictures, and you can sing and can start your magic. You can do a lot of things like people even don't recognize.
Okay.
You can manipulate like all things like like this happens. No, I can let that things happen first, and then people are like, wow.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean. Yes.
Yeah, and so, and to be honest with you, because I think if I can learn something more technology, like because directing, I do think like directing, if after like years of how to say that, practicing after years of like communicating with actors and everything, you can do directing, but editing will be like you have to know the software. You have to have certain kind of like technology background knowledge. Then you can start doing that. So, and I do want to have a job or have something to do while I was studying or after graduation.
I see.
Then I did think I choose a right thing to do after that, because after graduation I did like how to say that, it's like tens of feature film because I know the software.
One of them is the like Cotton Twines, right?
Like Cotton Twines, that's correct.
That's a major hit, wasn't it?
It is. It's like it is a major hit in like how to say that, in independent film level, because we went to, so far I think we already have the best feature in Riverbend Film Festival, best feature in Savannah
Ghana Film Festival?
Yes, 13 awards nominated, and we won 6 awards, and including my awards, film editing, best film editing in Ghana.
I see. So you won one of the awards.
Yeah.
The best editing.
Yeah.
Good. Good. That's very good. That's very good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Considering your age, considering years, you're in film.
Yeah.
That's a good start. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It is because to be honest with you, because I'm a female and I'm a Chinese. So it would be kind of difficult for an international, like a Chinese female editor, to survive in this industry, or to have a job in this industry. So it is. I think I'm very lucky to meet a director who's also a female director, and who's willing to give me the chance to edit my second feature film, narrative feature film. So, and we kind of get bound like with each other like very quickly, because I'm very related to the story, because that story is for a teenager in Ghana who's how to say that, it's like who's kind of trapped in the culture thing, in the culture, in this own history.
Sacrifice a kid. 13, 14 years old.
That's right.
To God.
Yeah.
As a sacrificial.
Yeah.
And according to their religion.
Yeah.
And this very teacher tries to save her life. And at the end, did she succeed or that?
No. In the end, she died.
She dies, of course, yeah.
For like giving birth to the child, because she's only 14, and she is pregnant.
And by the God, she sacrificed. That explains the whole theme. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Reason I'm asking is that not only do I want to make new friends of your generation, but also I consider myself one of you guys, right?
Filmmaker.
I'm in the business. And a little question. Between the three, now among the three, you have a producer.
Yep.
You have the editor, and you have director. Who knows the story better?
I think the director. No, I think the screenwriter knows the story better, because he wrote it or she wrote it.
Of course, except the reason I didn't ask the screenwriter is I put him or her on side. So among the three, who's supposed to know the story better?
I think the director had a bigger picture.
Okay.
But the editor knows all the footage.
Next to director is
the
editor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, why in that case?
Because we know all the footage, and in certain circumstances, it will be like the director just know how to shoot, and after shooting, he or she has to forget everything and move on to next scene, to next day. So we, as editor, we have to get familiar with all the takes, all the scene, and we watch it like again and again, like way more than director, than the producer, than everyone else.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
If a director is placing himself or herself between the screenplay to the final product, which is the finished production, where you want to pose yourself as an editor?
Usually in this industry, editor has like a chance to edit the first cut. So the first cut will be the editor's cut. In that case, we will do our version of the story.
All right.
And then the director comes usually after first cut. He or she will watch the whole film and then decide, okay, I want to go this direction. And then we will have a director's cut. And between the director's cut and the fine cut, which you mean like in a theater one, we'll have like producer's cut, studio cut, and the final cut, things like that.
In the Like Cotton Twines, where did you play? Where was your part? You were the first cut, second cut, or third, or all?
Because the Like Cotton Twine is kind of like a different way to edit the film, because we have like only 2 months of editing. We want to submit to like a major film festival, and we want to like meet the deadline. So what we do is I have the first cut first, and then me and the director have the second cut and third cut together. We don't have like more notes
In other words, you are involved in all the 3 cuts.
Yep, and I give my notes.
Lucky you.
Thank you.
And to me, an opportunity to express yourself, expose yourself, and an opportunity to learn for all the steps, right? That's good. Today, my dear audience, I'm touching base with the very basic of how filmmaking, yet with a young artist originally from China, later from Chapman University, doing production, doing editing namely, and quite recently won a Best Editing Award at Ghana Film Festival for their masterpieces of Like a Cotton Twines, which is a good film. I like the story, right?
Thank you.
Well, let's take a very short moment out. From this perspective, I would like to get into the mind of young people. I call her a representative of the next or incoming generation. Let's see what they have in their mind about film, especially quote-unquote Hollywood films. Stay with us, please. Hello, dear folks. Welcome back to the show. As a matter of fact, discussion about film, namely Hollywood film. Joining me in the discussion is my new friend, Ting Yu. Ting is I would say is a fresh woman, fresh girl in the industry, yet she has shown her talent already. And her talent, by the way, has been recognized already. She won the Best Editor Award at the Ghana Film Festival for their masterpieces of Like Cotton Twines, which is a good film. Yes, speaking of film, speaking of Hollywood, you're talking about almost a universe. Yet, if you go into system by system or block by block, you're looking at only one block.
That's true.
Or something like that, right? Okay, now, talking about going through all the way from early 19th century, now the early 20th century, all the way to today, Hollywood itself has gone through different times itself, right? So now, entering or even for the past 15 or 17 years into this millennium, Hollywood has turned on new look. We have seen lots of wonderful films, including Avatar, which I never liked, which I never remembered even a scene. All I knew was something very, very hot, very blue, very green. Okay, that said, I'm checking with you. For artists of your generation, where do you look? How do you look? In other words, I want to touch base with you about your take of Hollywood film, rather than the Hollywood take of Hollywood films. So, if you want to say something, please.
Yeah, because I think what you mean Avatar, and you think like it's like all digitized, everything digital. So you don't need to like real person to do anything.
A demonstration of a digitization. How about that?
how to say that? It's like maybe like Jungle Book. Everything is digitized.
Oh no. Far away from Jungle Book.
No.
Jungle Book has a beautiful story. All right?
But do you like it?
Profound story. I still remember Versila, like that, like that thing. All right. That's a beautiful, most beautiful story.
But
like Jungle
you
Book.
get used to these kind of thing, right? Like step by step.
Right.
To me, it's the same thing because when I came here, I watched. I believe it's the Batman. The Batman. So I'm like, wow. So you can shoot superhero movies like that way. It's like still dark, comedy, but you have a good story to start with. To me, everything starts with a good story, and digital, like the 2D, like VR, like everything else, will be around these things. And I think I'm lucky to work with the editor for Avenger. So he taught me a lot. Like we still have like a good story first, and we have like we still follow we still follow the rule of Hollywood editing rule. We still have like the editing technique is still the same. Even like 30 years later, we still use the same technology. Like still use the same mind to do the editing. The different thing is
the human brain logic has not changed.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
If I pick up a pistol, aiming at a head, right? And then the third frame is the firing.
That's true.
Without looking, the audience will know that I'm firing at the very head that was shown just now in the previous frame.
Yeah.
Okay, if I do the vice versa, and I show the head first, and I show the gun, and well, that probably indicates the guy is shooting somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm saying the logic of human brain working, how human brain works.
Yeah.
Visual with the brain, with the word brain, that has not changed.
Yeah. Remains the same.
It remains the same forever.
Yeah.
Could only be improved a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. So okay, go ahead. So based on that, I want to see your take towards the part that I feel lost of.
Which part?
I like say I never understood.
Avatar.
Avatar, and well, so green, so blue, so everything. Well, the only.
But what I think is because I know like James Cameron is doing the series of Avatar. He's in like Santa Monica right now. He's doing like 2, the second one, the third one, the fourth one together. Yeah, I know. It's like it's already like 10 years later. He's doing the same thing. But what he did in the first one is he create a different camera. He create a different way to shoot the film, and then you can suddenly see, oh wow, there's a lot of IMAX movie theater. That's the reason James Cameron did Avatar first, and then people think, oh, I want to see a bigger screen with these kind of like beautiful image.
You're right.
And it's the way he shot the film, so we have 3D cameras now. So and then you mentioned about the we just mentioned about the other films. That's the same way that James Cameron shoot the film. So that's why we have better equipment. Even though I do agree with you, it's like the story is like kind of like lame, kind of like too simple and not like great. It's okay film, but the technology he used did change the whole like shooting, the whole film production.
I do agree with you. I do agree with you in 2 aspects. Aspect number 1, it is innovation or even renovation that leads the industry.
That's true.
No problem. Number 2, for the name as big as James Cameron, of course, nobody wants to say anything negative. Especially in your position, you might next day see him, right? He will say, oh, you said something bad about me? Out of the door, you go, like that kind of thing. That is understood. That's very humane. I don't blame you for doing that, okay? Now, me, I have nothing to do with Mr. Cameron. I have nothing to do with the technology myself. All I want is a film. It's a watchable film.
That's true.
Right? Memorable film, right? Something that you can still recall like 10, 20 years later, something like that, right? I can't even know a thing 2 minutes after the film. So that's the problem. Okay, now, go ahead. I like your take. Oh, you're honest. At least you're honest, right?
Yeah, what I think is like, I think the only thing is because you don't remember the film because its story is not that strong. It's not a strong story. And the story is kind of like too simple. And it don't have like up and downs, make you like, oh, that's a great one.
So in school, did you learn about the twists and turns?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
And our term, twists and turns, we live by twists and turns.
That's true.
Without twists and turns, we all go starving to death. Right? Like that.
Yes.
So, and there's no twist, no turn, no nothing.
No.
Right.
And that's why people kind of like wonder why James Cameron making the second one, the third one, the fourth one together. That's like
because there are people who are willing to pay for the film. I mean, for the name.
That's true.
Right.
But still, it's like it takes too long, and then people cannot memorize that kind of film because it's not a good story. Why would I watch the second one, the third one, the fourth one?
Okay, very good. I start to like you a little bit, a little more than starting, right? And because you are honest, you say things such as to the limit, okay? Within the limit, you're okay. And touching a little bit, the verge, you're still okay. Now, suppose you have the freedom, right? Now, you are given the total freedom. If I give you $10 million, okay, do something, or $100 million, do something, make you the boss, do it, would you yourself do the James Cameron way?
I don't think I have.
That is the same question I'm asking different ways.
Yeah, I don't think I can do the same way as James Cameron because he has like, besides he's a filmmaker, he's still like a very technology people. So that's why he can invent something to do. But in nowadays, I think like the technology is kind of like, how to say that, like everyone can use that right now. And it's very common, like Avengers, like Logan. They all have like $100 million budget film. They are these kind of like budget film.
Yeah, you're right.
Right now you can see more and more film like focus on the story. It's not just like action. It's not
Logan
like
has
just
a
big
story.
bomb.
Logan has a story.
It's so good.
Not a bad story.
Yeah.
Even though science fiction or science fiction or whatever, it has a story. Story is very strong.
Yeah, and I'm lucky to work with the music editor in Logan, and he told me.
Music editor?
Yeah.
Oh, what's nice music too?
Yeah, it is. It's like the scores is like, oh, so touching, you know?
I'm a very picky audience.
Oh, really?
I do not get satisfied only by the visual effect, and I listen too.
Yeah.
And music is a big part of it.
Right? It is. It's so good. And I talked with him like a lot, and he told me, because he worked on the Chinese version as well. The Chinese version is like 18 minutes shorter.
Chinese version is a new cut? Or is it just a dubbed?
It's a new cut. They cut certain types of things because if you want to release in China, you know, like we have to like eliminate some kind of scene.
Nothing explicit. No.
And they had.
I can't recall anything.
No, it's like did you remember like there's a little girl like cut the head off and throw the head to Logan.
Yeah, there was one.
Out in China.
Yeah, there was one of that, and okay, some guts out, something like that. Okay, all right. Okay.
So they have to remix the whole film for Logan in Chinese version, and he told me it's like, but to me.
What's the translation for Chinese for Logan in Chinese? The title.
I think it's still the like a translation by the word Logan, things like
Logan?
that. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because
there's a name anyway, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's his real name. Because to me, and then he told me because of they tried to cut certain types of scenes, so they had to remix everything. But still, they want to keep this story.
But you were involved with the music editing.
I'm not involved with the music. I'm the editor, so
You were the editor for the Chinese version?
No, I'm the assistant editor.
Oh.
For like a new Chinese feature film called Azura.
Uh-huh.
This is the biggest budget in Chinese history.
I see. That's the 100 million budget, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
very
correct.
good. Okay, let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, before I touch the 100 million, I'm not a money guy, okay? I never
Okay.
get excited by the number 100 million. Come on, just money. And I will still asking you some theoretical questions, if not conceptual. How about that, please?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Hello, my dear audience, my lovely audience, my lovely fellow film lover audience. Welcome back to the Talk About Film. Today is one of the relaxed moment when the federal is not that busy, when they're not electing somebody as president, when president's not called for press release, so on and so forth. We drag some important person, especially important young person here to talk about important thing, which is so important, the films. Okay, now, I once again welcome Ting on the show. She's a new Hollywood film artist. By looking at the face, she's almost, no bigger than a high schooler or something, but she has done some major production already. For that, I give you two thumbs up. Right? I'm still, however, testing water as I move along. All right.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get captured by your generation. I don't want to be an old fool surrendering to you, right? Neither do I want to feel kind of I'm so offensive to you guys. No, I don't want to. Neither, right? I'm testing water. I go as I watch as I go, like that. Now, another question. You just mentioned, we just happened to mention about translation, right? Because more and more we're talking about American films translated or dubbed into Chinese, and it was and circulated in China, big market, 1.3 billion, right? Okay, and vice versa, right? Make the American people watch Chinese films, they do like them, right? So translation becomes more and more important. The reason I'm asking you for Logan, if there is a Chinese translation, because Logan, if translated by the sound, its syllables into Logan, doesn't make any sense in Chinese. Right.
That's true.
You're losing 50% of the opportunity to deliver the message, right? If you would translate in a way to let the name carry some signals in the translation, though, you are taking advantage of the 50% of the translation, right? So, as a new editor, do you think that's a good recommendation?
I totally agree with what you said. This is because I talked with the music editor in Logan that there's the same thing, because when we both know Logan is the name of Wolverine.
Yeah, we do know, yes.
Yes, and Wolverine is Logan. To be honest, that's true, because when they pick the name of this series, they try to, at first they want to name Wolverine Logan. And in the end, they delete the Wolverine. They just want to keep Logan as it is, because this is the last one of Wolverine. So I think, what do you say when you translate this name to a Chinese version? It doesn't make any sense because we don't read all the comic books, and we just watch the films. And in the film, we don't usually remember the names of the character. We just know, oh, this is Wolverine, but what's his name? Nobody knows. But I do believe when they translate the name into Chinese version, they keep the Wolverine.
Yeah, I know. But there's still better translation that carries both.
Yeah.
Did you think so?
That's true.
I give you an example, okay? I watched Shockwave. You know Shockwave?
No,
by Ed Liu of Hong Kong, Liu Dehua.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Shockwave. Shock wave. Two beautifully sounding English words,
That's
right?
true.
Shock wave. That tells the wave, that tells the story, that tells the shocking reality, right? Shock wave. You know how to translate into Chinese? 拆弹专家, expert in disabling bombs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, expert disabling bombs. Okay.
That's
okay.
a bad
If I can translate the bad translation back into an English, though, it is exactly expert disabling or disabling bombs. Disabling bombs, like that. From English, shock wave.
That's so cool.
That's a cool, solid reality. Life or death with a blink of nanoseconds, right? Shock wave into 拆弹专家. Do you think everything's lost?
Yeah.
Right now. So the conclusion of my question, as a reminder or also as a suggestion for my generation, is that is most important part when you try to move film to China and vice versa to the States. That is very important, super important.
That's true. Because I can remember the Wong Kar-wai's film, 一代宗师, but the English version name is just Master.
Master.
It's like, master of what?
Master
of
of
Kung
what?
Fu?
Yeah.
Master of what? So
Master of MBA.
so I agree with you. That's true.
Good, yeah. So, and I say I'm picky, not only picky at a visual effect or a sound effect or a music, even at translation, because our audiences deserve the best.
That's true.
Our audience deserve the flawless. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now, I'm not misleading you. Am I right?
Yeah.
Huh? I'm not misleading you.
No.
Okay. Okay. Now another question might be still very challenging. Do you think film shall function or has a little something to do with education?
I don't
Maybe
think
education is too big a word. I should say cultivation. How about that? Cultivation of young minds.
When you say education, I don't think it relates to the education, because filmmaking, a lot of like successful filmmaker, they don't go to college, they don't go to film school.
No.
Like
I'm not talking about education related to filmmaker success.
Okay.
I'm talking as a film itself, filmmakers to the audiences. In between them, do they have an obligation of education or at least cultivation?
That's true.
You're creating an environment or showing something. Am I right? Okay. So your take, please.
Yeah.
I really, really want to touch base with you, this generation, the incoming generation, how you feel about it.
I think
I'm rocking at a too old a cliche. All right, that's older than me. Go ahead.
I do think we filmmakers do have like an obligation to show the beautiful side of the like everything, and to give the audience to know what's right, what's wrong. And that's why I just want to mention that like Cut and Twice, when we do that kind of film, we want to show, even though that's the part of your culture, that's a part of your history, it's wrong. When it's wrong, it's wrong.
Of course.
And we want to like let people know how to do it right. So yeah, to answer your question, it is our obligation to do that.
Yeah, you know why it is wrong? Because there are lots of people who are taking advantages of their religion to go verses against civilization.
That's true.
Am I right?
Yeah.
So in their system, religious system, sacrificing that young girl to the god who later on pregnanted her was right thing to do. And this whole thing is what? It's evil.
Yeah.
All right? It's a cult that goes against the civilization.
Yeah.
And the civilization represented by such a weak teacher finds severely trying to save her and yet fail.
Yeah.
Does it tell story? Does it educate people? It does.
It does. That's why I think why we got nominated like 13 awards in Ghana Movie Festival is because people realize, okay, it's not just a story. It's kind of a true story. It's part of like the true part of the society.
Good. I like you more now. Yeah, good. And I especially like the fact that she was impregnated, and she died even at childbirth.
Yeah.
I like that story.
That's
and
a
the
very strong
telltale
story.
It's a telltale story that goes very intensively into the subject. Right? Very good. I'm glad that you and I get agreement to find a common ground on this page. Right? So, my dear audience, today I'm acting like a old timer, trying to touch base with a young artist merging into this industry, doing the uphill fighting, yet successful already. We started to see some twilights already in this young woman. So Ting is her name. Let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, we'll touch base with her about her $100 million parenthesis USD project. Stay with us, please. Hello, my dear lovely audiences. Welcome back to the East-West Show. Jack Chow is my name. I'm doing this show for many years with tons of pride on just trying to be useful, trying to bring information to you. When information is concerned, you're talking about everything. Of course, next door to Hollywood, or we're in Hollywood, of course, Hollywood film is one of a very hot piece of cake. Everybody wants to rush to the basket to get a chunk. Filmmaking, we have lots of students, international students from mostly China, studying at the New York Film Festival. I'm a New York Film Academy, or some of a Chapman University in your case. And the Chapman is good. I know Chapman. A bunch of my film friends are from Chapman.
Oh, that's
right. They're good.
Oh.
So after the new trial that has gotten her some reputation already with the Like a Cotton Twines, so twiny. She is now engaged in her next major move, and called the $100 million parenthesis US big project. Tell us something about it, please.
The first thing is like I think because of the Great War, the Chinese production kind of find a way to cooperate with the Hollywood production. So what I'm assistant editing this film is called Azura. This is the first.
Great Wall related?
No, it's kind of because the Great Wall opens a door, like opens a new way of like filmmaking.
I see. Thank God. Yeah.
And then the new film called Azura, and Azura. The Chinese name is called A Xiu Luo. So they just translate to the same like.
I see. It's
English.
A name.
It's a name.
It's a woman's name.
No, it's kind of God's name in India.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
It's in China. In India, it's kind of Buddhism. So it has 3 heads, 6 arms. So in the film, it is the same thing. Like it has it's a god in the story.
The kind of God, yes.
The kind of God, yeah. This film is like it's very good. It's like because it kind of has its own way of filmmaking. Like the director, the screenwriter are Chinese, so they have the story, and they hire a bunch of like Hollywood top-notch like filmmakers to help them to bring the film to life. So the editor, the production designer, the VFX supervisor, like them, they are Americans. but they work for the Chinese production.
I see.
So they kind of like these kind of production kind of like give us like the how to say that like Chinese American filmmakers adore a road like to for us to cooperate with that kind of budget film. Yeah.
All right. Who provides the budget? China side?
Yeah.
Or United States? I would bet China, right?
Yeah.
Nobody
Right.
has that kind of money.
Because when you see the Great Wall kind of is a legendary movie. So the legendary put like how to say that more than half the budget. So it's American production, but Azura is a total Chinese production. So that's why like in the Hollywood Reporter, in all the newspapers, it says it is the biggest Chinese production.
All right, very good. And there you are.
Assistant editor in this film.
You're the editor.
Yeah, assistant editor.
Assistant editor.
Yeah.
For the first cut, second cut, or third cut, or all the three.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
Good.
I'll stay with
That's a good job already.
I stay with the editor, stay with the director to go through
Does
all
it
the
pay
cuts.
beautifully?
Yeah, because
does.
it's kind of like even though it's
Right.
not a union show, the pay is union level. Yeah.
Oh, right. Union standard. I know what you mean. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Let me ask you one thing, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of a U.S.-China co-production, you're talking about two kinds of co-productions.
Yeah.
Number one kind, let me explain to you. Chinese writer, Chinese story, Chinese actors and actress, with a bunch of American producers or directors, assistant directors around them to work on the project. That's the U.S.-China co-production type.
Yeah.
Okay, now, the second type is that is human, I would say, not Chinese writer or U.S. writer, human writer,
Okay.
for a human story, human actors and the human actors, and the human producers and directors, whatever, whoever. It happens when it happens to be American, let it be American. When it happens to be Chinese, let it be Chinese. It's a mixed team of everything. It's a story of everything. Because in actual life, we Chinese live in an environment that is surrounded or mingled like a salad pot with everybody, right?
Yeah.
Why you keep on writing, say the Mr. Wright, right? Talking about Vancouver. Could be Beijing,
Yeah.
could be Guangzhou, could be anywhere, same thing. So do you agree that we have one more step to go, at least?
I do agree with you because when you say like human writer, human director, human editor, human like actors, that's the how to say that. That's a goal everyone want to achieve. But I think the only how to say that. I think when nowadays we cannot achieve that step because we have different. The first thing we have different culture. The second thing, we have different rules of filmmaking.
Okay.
Different rules makes us not like combine so well with each other because we know in Hollywood we have Hollywood rules. We have 12 hours turnaround, but in China we don't have 12 hours turnaround. In here we have like, okay, the actor and actress have its own rules to like performing. Like they have stand in, they have everything. They don't need to stand in the set like for the lighting for everything. But in China, the actors need to be on set all the time. So that's why we cannot combine so well with each other. And so right now, it's either way. Either you Americans go to China and follow Chinese rules,
I see.
or
I
Chinese
see,
go
I
to
see.
America,
I
follow
see.
America's rule.
But we're pointing out a very idealistic
Yeah,
future,
that's true.
right? So the best would be they combine, they mix,
Mix match.
right?
Yeah.
Like my friend in the education business, he kind of created a system that uses the Chinese curriculum and American curriculum. Together, they produced the third one, which has both. Well, in films, we're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
The reason I'm talking about is that when Chinese writers write American stories, unless they are here for 20 years, 30 years, they do not know the American life. And vice versa, when American writers write Chinese story, like the Great Wall. You know what I mean? You took the word out of my mouth, right?
Yeah.
So I know where exactly we get confused.
Yeah.
Right. Very good. So, needless to say, right? Needless to say. All right, my dear audiences, I echo a lot with this young woman. New artist in the industry, and lots of people say they're big, but actually they are not big, especially money-wise. They're not big. She is a exception. She has now a $100 million project on hand, as media says, one of the biggest in history ever, right? That surpasses Avatar. No, surpasses the Great Wall for sure, right? Okay. All right. We wish her very good luck, and thank you for agreeing on several pages with me.
Thank you.
And we pin our hopes in this coming generation. My dear audience, thank you for watching. So we'll see you next time on film. And to you, thank you very much.
Thank you.